All right, Nibir, thank you for sharing all those details with us. Shifting focus now. Cuba has declared 2 days of national mourning after confirming that 32 Cuban nationals were killed during the recent US military operation in Venezuela. The government has condemned the attack and called it a tragic loss of life. Authorities are coordinating with the families of the victims and are reviewing the circumstances surrounding the operation. The officials have also urged the international community to take note of the incident and stressed the need for accountability and respect for Cuban citizens abroad. Brian Thomas, my colleague, joins us for more on this. Brian, Cuba is in mourning. It has declared 2 days of mourning after we're now learning that 32 Cuban nationals lost their lives in this in Venezuela during the operation carried out by the United States.
So the Cuban government has confirmed that 32 of its national, mostly military and security personnel, were killed during the recent US military operation in Venezuela aimed at capturing President Nicolas Maduro. The Cuban personnel were reportedly in Venezuela at the invitation of Venezuelan authorities and were killed in direct combat or during bombardments carried out as part of the raid. Not only that, in response, yes, Cuba has declared 2 days of national mourning, lowered flags to half-mast, and praised the deceased for fulfilling their duties with heroism, dignity. Not only that, even the Cuban officials assert the fatalities occurred while Cuban forces were assisting Maduro's protection detail, although exact circumstances and locations still remain under review. Not only that, even President Donald Trump acknowledged these casualties, even saying that many Cubans died protecting Maduro during the operation, while insisting that no US forces suffered any fatalities as of now. Yes.
Brian, I would please request you to stay on with me. US President Donald Trump, on being questioned if the operation in Venezuela was actually about oil or regime change, stated that the Operation Absolute Resolve was about peace on earth. President Trump further stated that the operation was done keeping in mind the Monroe Doctrine, highlighting the relevance of the Monroe Doctrine, stating that it was a crucial policy when first introduced, but many past presidents had lost sight of its importance. He said, and I quote, "I didn't lose sight of the doctrine," and asserted that his administration acted to uphold the doctrine and protect US interests in the Western Hemisphere. Brian, we're now learning that US President Donald Trump, when asked about this operation, said that it was peace on earth, but it quite seems like the opposite, considering that this is the 7th country that he has bombed in under a year of his presidency.
Well, yes, even if you talk about his New Year resolution, he said that it's peace. And now Donald Trump has done quite the opposite, where he has even publicly framed the military action, codenamed Operation Absolute Resolve, as a mission aimed at securing stability and eliminating threats tied to drug trafficking and regional instability. The president described the operation in dramatic terms, calling it about peace on earth, and highlighting that US forces executed the strike with precision and without American fatalities. While also Trump asserts this narrative portraying this mission as not only successful but morally justified. Critics has clearly have labeled his rhetoric over the top or propagandistic, saying the glosses over the geopolitical consequences and even human cost of such bold extraterritorial intervention. Yes.
Brian, I would please request you to stay on with me. The former Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, is set to be sworn in as the country's new president on January 6th in Caracas. Rodriguez has been serving as interim president since the capture of Nicolas Maduro and his wife by US military forces. She has condemned Maduro's detention as a kidnapping and warned that Venezuela will not become a colony of the United States. Rodriguez, who previously served as Venezuela's oil minister, has already secured the backing of all major judicial and political institutions in Venezuela, as well as the support of the Venezuelan army. Brian, we're now learning that Delcy Rodriguez, who was the vice president of Venezuela, will now be sworn in as the new president in light of the situation in Venezuela.
Well, yes, in Caracas, Delcy Rodriguez, the former vice president of Venezuela and longtime Maduro ally, is set to be sworn in as president. This ceremony is scheduled to take place tomorrow morning, according to official announcement from Venezuela Supreme Court and ruling party sources. Rodriguez's ascension clearly comes amid deep national upheaval and international dispute over the legitimacy also of Venezuela's leadership, and amid this US intervention also. While clearly the US made it very clear and has sought to exert influence over Venezuelan governance, Rodriguez has become the figure designated by domestic institutions to maintain continuity after Maduro's removal. Yes, and not only that, even US officials have indicated that Rodriguez may even face pressure to align with Washington's condition for economic and political reforms, though the exact nature of US Venezuela negotiations still at this point of time remains extremely fluid. Yes.
All right, Brian, appreciate you sharing all those details with us. Thank you so much. With that, I step into a short break. Thank you for watching.
Ah ouais, hein, c'est l'histoire.